Hello and welcome to Unprofessional Engineering, live from Autodesk University 2018. My name is James.
And you got Luke.
Luke, we are joined by a very special guest who complained his way onto the show this year.
He basically begged us.
Right, we left him off last year. We might have even bumped him.
I think it was more of a bumping, and I'm not sure about the begging aspect of it. I think it was a reminder.
Okay.
It was a gentle reminder.
I'm sure any of our Inventor users out there know that this is Loren Welch, Product Manager to the Stars.
Extraordinaire.
Pretty good intro? Is that okay?
You like that?
It's acceptable.
It's on your business card that way, right?
It's changing now.
To the stars. Yeah. Okay.
All right, so before we get into this and actually start getting down to business, we have a game that we've been playing with everyone. Now, keep in mind, you're competing with Lisa, Hooper, MH,
SVPs.
A lot of folks.
Yeah.
And we're actually playing a game called Do You Know Your CEO? Or How Well Do You Know Your CEO? Where we give you a quote from Andrew and somebody else, another famous person, and you have to determine which one said that. Are you ready?
You ready? And
let's do it.
We are reporting these answers back to Andrew, like seriously, like everybody thinks we're not, but we actually are. Okay, so first up, this is either Andrew or Neil deGrasse Tyson. Okay, you got it in your head?
Yep.
Apollo in 1969, Shuttle in 1981, nothing in 2011. Our space program would look awesome to anyone living backwards through time.
That would be Neil.
Very good. Okay. Next, I think of space not as the final frontier, but the next frontier.
I think that one's going to be. Can I say double A? Andrew Eddingdos? Double A?
You could say that.
You could, but you would be wrong. Last one. I deleted my Facebook account 3 years ago. Wasn't hard at all.
That was Andrew.
That was So okay, if you follow Andrew on Twitter, these all came off of his Twitter feed.
We know Lauren's big on the
might
Twitters.
do better.
Yeah.
Okay. James?
Next section, Andrew Anagnost or Mr. Rogers.
I did just watch the documentary on Fred Rogers.
You are the third person who's told me this in the past 2 days.
I heard it was amazing.
It's brilliant.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Who just said, was that MH that just watched it? All right. So the future belongs to the young. It's uplifting to see them own it.
I think that's Andrew.
That is Andrew. Well done. We live in a world in which we need to share responsibility. It is easy to say, it's not my community, not my world, not my problem.
I think that's Andrew as well.
Ooh, good old Fred Rogers.
Good old Fred.
One more here. I think it's very important, no matter what you may do professionally, to keep alive some of the healthy interests of your youth.
That is Fred Rogers.
Wow, well done.
Okay, next up, this is either Andrew or Bob Ross. Okay.
Happy little tree.
There's nothing in the world breeds success like success.
Andrew?
No, that is Bob Ross. If only we could all respect how others choose to live their lives.
Bob Ross.
No, Andrew, you are tanking here.
Confidence was high. Pivot.
You were doing really well.
Sorry.
But you can finish strong.
Last one for Bob Ross. Talent is a pursued interest. Anything you are willing to practice, you can do. Bob Ross or Andrew?
Bob Ross.
Very good.
Very good. All right, you're back on track. Okay, one more group to go. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Andrew Anagnost or Elon Musk?
This one is really, these are tougher.
Can someone tell me when we're going to stop calling Twitter and Facebook tech companies?
That was Andrew.
That was Andrew.
Oh, ding, ding, ding.
I want you to know that Luke and I put these together, and then I asked him the questions, and he was still getting them wrong. so this is impressive. That's why you need solar panels on your roof. Electricity has to come from somewhere.
That would be Musk.
That would be Andrew.
Dang it.
One more. This is for all the money. We're in Vegas, so. Growing a business is as much about the innovation, drive, and determination of the people behind it as the product they sell.
Elon.
What? Very well done. I think you might be the first or at best second person to get that one right.
Yeah.
Very good.
You're definitely not leading, but I don't think you're doing the worst so far of everybody we've asked. So you're right in the meat of the pack.
That's where I wanted to be. That's where I wanted to be.
Hooper missed an automatic 3 because he doesn't know who Mr. Rogers is, so we just failed him on all of those ones.
We didn't think about our international friends, so.
Okay, so moving on. You've been at Autodesk for like so long.
So long.
It feels like you've been here forever.
Yes.
How long's it been?
So you're making me feel old.
You are.
It's been 10 and a half years.
Oh my
look.
goodness.
See, it feels so long because he happened to be here like 6 months before I got here. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, did your gig in sales help prepare you at all for what you're currently doing as a product manager?
I think it was huge, actually. So I did probably 14 years in technical sales, 6 of it at Autodesk, and just the interaction with the customers, the interaction with our internal teams, and that's really where I started working with product managers, is I worked with our enterprise customers, so I got to engage with our enterprise customers and get them in front of our product managers and our product teams, and just working with them and seeing how they're able to take that information from customers and drive product direction. And to me, that was really interesting. So I think it was extremely helpful. And from a product perspective, it's good to have the customer in mind, but also we have to sell new software. We don't have a company, right? So understanding how sales can position and sell things, it's important how they can articulate that to the customer and how they can find value in it.
So let's say someone doesn't know what a product manager's job is, what you guys do.
Like me.
Yeah, day to day. I'm assuming you guys all just like hang out all day and, I don't know, write code. So what exactly does a product manager specifically here at Autodesk, like on your team, and then I know you guys have different responsibilities, and what would yours be versus Chris or Garen or one of the other guys?
Yeah, so it's always interesting when you try to explain what a product manager does, because everybody I have talked to, whether it's another dad at basketball practice or whatever, it always turns back to like you're the guy from Office Space, right? You talk to the customers so the engineers don't have to. Like that's
because you're a people person.
Yeah, and that's in a simplistic way. I think that's a big chunk of it, right? My role is really, or all product managers, their role is really understanding the market, understanding the customers, and making sure that the product aligns with that. So, at Autodesk, it's very focused on a product line for us, for its Inventor. And so, on the team, we divide up a lot of it's a big product, it's a lot of customers, so we divide up a lot of the big meaty projects with the different teams. So, I handle a lot of the customer engagement, and for North America, for Europe. I also do a lot with all of our cloud initiatives from the Inventor perspective. So I work really closely with the folks in the Fusion and Cloud Platform teams, and I do a lot with the Forge team as well. And then some of the other things I handle are a lot of our go-to-market or our release strategy. So we do the updates, we do the annual releases, and just working with working with the marketing teams, no more acronyms, right? So working with the marketing teams, working with tech marketing, product marketing, just to make sure that content gets out in a way that's consistent with Autodesk and product strategy.
So you mentioned customer engagement. That's, I don't know if that's a new word or a new thing that I've heard. Explain that part of it and why that has. It seems like it's become one of the most important things that we've been doing in recent years, is making sure that we're engaging those customers. So what does that look like, and how physically you're doing that with customers? Like, where's that engagement happening?
So our engagement model, since I've been on the team for 3 years, I've seen it transition really drastically in a very positive way, and I think you're seeing it across a lot of product teams at Autodesk. And what it really means is not just, don't just look at the user forums, don't just look at the ideas page at Autodesk and get kind of, I don't want to call it passive information, but kind of you're getting feedback through web pages, but really get in front of customers. And so we try to get on site in front of customers as often as possible. We do a lot of these events where we bring customers in and they try the product hands-on, like early development builds, and we have user experience and developers in the room with them just to understand if they run into a problem or they have feedback, what they're talking about. So for us, engagement is really about getting that direct pipeline to what the customer is asking for, and really getting to the why, right? So we get a lot of, if it's just an ideas page post, a lot of it's just, I want this option in this command, right? I want this widget. And if we just blindly build that widget, I don't know that we're solving the problem.
Yeah.
So we've really gotten to that methodology of almost to the point of asking why just a crazy amount of times, because we're really trying to find the underlying workflow challenge, right? So we're trying to understand really why they want that thing. And a lot of times it's really not that thing, it's really we can do it differently and solve it better for them if we understand what they're trying to accomplish.
That's their idea of what that thing should be.
Yeah.
Very good. All right, so I want you to know that this is a Luke-specific question, and he had a very specific wording.
See if you can pick out the word that I wanted to use in the question.
Luke wants to know about the confluence of design and data management.
I want Luke to define Confluence.
Confluence is a river in Pittsburgh somewhere, I'm pretty sure.
I have a note here that says, it turns out that means they work together.
Yeah, so you know, I've been using Inventor a long time, and I've known you for a good part of it, and it's always seemed that, at least years ago, that our data management solutions and our design solutions weren't necessarily, you know, in really great sync all the time. And what I've noticed over the past few years, and I think it's with some of the structure that we've built in product management, it seems like these things are like really, really in line with one another. And I just wanted you to kind of review like what some of those changes are and how that's affecting the products.
So I think you're right. I think we've done some things structurally just from an organizational perspective. So the Vault team came over, it's part of the Inventor team. It's now called Product Design at Autodesk. And we're inside of that group together. And so because we're co-located in many offices in Novi and Portland, we have the ability to really be talking to each other much more naturally as we are developing things. So it's not just, hey, we developed this new functionality, here you go, Vault team, figure it out. It's
Throw it over.
Yeah, it's really more of a, let's talk about what we're doing and how does it directly affect Vault, and we have the people sitting in the cubicles next to each other, having the conversations while we're developing these projects. So it's not just Inventor project reviews, it's not just Vault project reviews, it's a common project review, and that going back to customer engagement, we really have combined that where we'll do a lot of engagement with the Inventor and Vault team together just because our product adjacency is so high. It just makes sense for us. We have the same customer, let's talk to them at the same time.
Yeah, the most recent Inside the Factory event we did in Munich, it was, you know, literally you had, you know, Vault developers and product management and Inventor ones side by side helping, answering questions and engaging with the customers, and I just thought that was really cool to see all that happen. You were supposed to use the word confluence in your answer, but that's okay.
You can't define a word with itself.
If you're Luke, you can, and you do.
I can do that.
All right, so there's been a big push lately for modernization, like updating the UI, the whole command, all sorts of good stuff. I was under the impression that software had pretty much gotten where it needed to be. You can extrude stuff, you can make boxes, you can cut some holes, and I thought it was just more about capacity of your machine, pushing things to the limit. So why is it that you guys are focusing on these modernization efforts?
So I think the thing that we got to be really clear about, and it's one of the things that we've had a lot of conversations with our customers about, because they kind of ask the same question, right? You know, you guys have, you have a UI that looks like, the new Windows or whatever, and so the real point here is when we talk about modernization, it's not a fresh coat of paint, right? Yes, we want to make sure we're compliant with 4K monitors and all this high resolution and really have a nice crisp look and feel, but it's really about more of how do we modernize the underlying code and the workflows our customers are trying to do. So we're really trying to leverage analytics in a way to really help drive this. So not only can we see kind of the popular commands customers are doing, but we can really see what are they doing before they use that command, what are they doing after, and are there ways we can streamline that? So when you look at things that we've done structurally from like with the new whole command, is we've made it so you can access the sketch while you're in the whole command, and so it just saves a ton of button clicks. It changes the way customers use a command, and that's what we're really trying to do. It's not just changing the way it looks, it's how it operates. I mean, Inventor's 20 plus million lines of code, and it's it's 19 years old. So you look at some of that code, and it's time that we take a look at it, and if we can refresh it, optimize it, and modernize it, that's what we need to do.
So I have to admit, I do love the panels. I can't wait till it's like just all panels. Like I'm not going to say I wasn't a believer, but I remember whenever you and I were working on the what's new for the whole, and it was one of the first times I was working with a panel, like going in, editing that sketch and going right back to the feature and making changes, and I don't have to like finish it and edit the sketch separately. It was, I can't wait till everything is in panels and working that smoothly. I loved it.
We're going to have you evangelize the panels to everybody.
Oh, I love the
panels. I want to know
know
how many times a month, let's say, you hear, why did you move my fill in the blank button or something like that?
It actually hasn't been that drastic, but but it's only been 2 commands so far.
Okay.
So,
Give it time.
Yeah, I mean, but if you look at the measure command, we took it from 4 commands down to 1,
Right.
and we made it better. So as long as you make it better, and you make users more productive and give them the functionality they want, they're generally pretty happy, right? If you just move it to move it, you're not going to make a lot of people happy.
So another thing that is, I'm not going to say it's not new. It's been a few years now, a few releases, but we're in a pretty accelerated release schedule. We have the big releases, but we've had these dot releases that are happening in between the big ones. So a couple questions, reasoning behind that, and then what's the feedback been from the users that are consuming these updates, and how are they being received?
So what we've really looked at doing, it started back with the 2016 release. That's where we had like an R2 release, and we had a few little things in there. And we actually use them to add additional functionality, right? So historically we had things like service packs, which were really focused on fixing defects. Critical to do, and we need to continue to fix things, obviously. But what customers were saying is, why do I need to update every year? Or why, give me a reason. And that reason really has to be around providing them value. And so some of what we done just structurally, again, was we took and we changed some of our development process to really be more of an agile software development company. And because of that, what we were able to do is, as we worked on features and we worked on functionality, as they were ready, we were able to release them in much more efficiently, rather than waiting like 12 months of having stuff built up and doing a big dump release. Now we're able to actually do a lot of updates throughout the year as we get all this additional functionality. And one of the things that's nice with it is, like when we did model-based definition with 2018, we released it initially for parts, right? And then with .1, we were able to add assembly functionality. And so as we continue to roll these things out, we can put a really good chunk of functionality and then build on it throughout the release. So what it means for customers is, we're seeing customers adopt our updates 2.5 times faster than they traditionally would take on like service packs. So it's really about providing them new functionality throughout the year, and we're seeing people get new versions of software on their desktop much faster than they have historically.
That's great.
I keep harping on this today, I feel like, but could you tell us a little bit about how community influences the direction of Inventor? So I know we have Inventor Ideas, you have all of these user groups that you go to, you guys travel the world meeting with them, and then
the beta communities.
You leave me at home while you do it, but that's
sorry.
cool. Tell me a little bit about how the community is driving Inventor.
So it is super critical for us to make sure that our customers, that are longtime customers, loyal customers, feel like they have their thumbprint on the product, right? Everybody likes to see the tool they use every day to make their living and see, like, I influenced that, or that was my idea that now I get to use every day, and I've made the product better. And so what we've really looked at is, with the ideas page, with the feedback community, we have our developers, we have our product team on those forums all the time, and so they're interacting directly with customers. They're asking the why they want these things. They're really trying to get to the root of what people want and what's going to make the experience better for them. And we really call it kind of this Inventor experience, where the users should have an expectation or a feeling of how they're impacting things. And so what we've really focused on is being able to deliver those, going back to the updates, is if we can go through and understand what customers are wanting, how many customers that's going to affect, right? Then we can start saying, this is going to be really pervasive and it's going to help a lot of customers. And we can pretty easily justify that type of development work. And so when we put those things out there in updates, that's where customers can see us turn around from an idea that they posted on the ideas page. We're very transparent about if we're going to accept an idea, if it's not something
it says it right there. It says pending and like, sorry,
future
sorry, Charlie.
Yeah, the future consideration is probably the one that we're not as direct as we should be.
Sorry, Charlie.
Yeah, but no, we let people know, like, hey, this one's gathering support, this one's under consideration, this one's accepted. And then once we deliver it, we actually post back to the ideas page and we actually say implemented. And so we try to be as transparent with our customers as we can be about what we're doing and when we're doing it.
And you let them know when their idea has been implemented as well,
Yep.
directly?
Yep.
That's outstanding.
So, changing gears a little bit, what's been your favorite part of Autodesk University so far? And follow up, what are you looking forward to?
All right, so favorite part every year is the customers. I mean, and the podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Come on.
No, it's the customers. We're lucky enough that we get to visit with customers and see what they're doing all the time. And it's great to see them in their locations, at their facilities, but it's great to see customers in this environment where they're coming here looking to network with people that they haven't met before. They're looking to talk to other customers, and it's great if we talk to them, and we should, right? But for the most part, I hope customers aren't coming here just to talk to Autodesk people. I want them here to talk to other customers.
Yeah.
And you walk around the exhibit hall, you see side conversations in classes and in hallways, and to me, people are here because they love our tools, they want to learn how to use them better, and they want to understand how other people are doing it. And to me, I mean, it is that sense of community, and it's just interacting with those customers, seeing them connect the dots. To me, that's awesome.
Yeah, one of the coolest things I saw today was I was in Paul Mumford's class, packed class, like 150 people in the class. After the class was over, all the Q&A people that were asking questions, people were going, like customers were going from up to them to ask them questions after the session was over, and they were having like their own Q&A in the like at the end of the class, and it was awesome just seeing customers helping customers here. So
yeah, our class today was we had a PM panel that James hosted for us graciously. And,
I'm a nice guy.
And it was really about asking the PMs questions directly, and it turned into a good chunk of it was actually interesting because we had customers talking to each other, and kind of maybe left us out a little bit for a while. But
it hurt Loren's feelings for sure. All right, one last thing. So when we're here again next year, sitting here with you because you whined and complained
to get on the show
again.
No, I simply said, last you guys it put me on like twice and canceled me. I don't understand.
I'm sorry. What do you think we're going to be talking about as some of the biggest changes to Inventor or the collection in general next year?
So I think one of the things that we look at, and you look at what we've talked about so much in all the keynotes and everything, it's really this reinvestment in a lot of the core of what we're doing, but really automating things for customers. We talk about automation in a lot of different levels, and in an Inventor world, there's automation on the desktop, there's automation on the cloud through Forge, and how we bring that to customers, I think, is going to be really important. So continuing to invest in that, and when you take it down to, all right, so what does that mean for Inventor? What does that mean for collections? We want to continue to bring customers value around their Inventor data, that design and manufacturing currency that are IPTs and IAM files, right? And so we want to continue to give them these workflows in the collection that are really data and Inventor centric, and really make that. We say automation, and yes, it's things like iLogic and it's things like that and API access, but really automation is taking customers' workflows and making them more efficient with the tools we put in front of them, right?
Okay.
That was deep.
That was that's very deep.
All right, so we're going to have to call it quits for today, Loren. I really appreciate you joining us after, the harassment we gave you last year. Hopefully we can get you back on again next year, though. So from Autodesk University 2018, thanks, and see you again next time.
See ya.
Thank you.